Let me check if the microphone is working. I'm using a new microphone this afternoon. Um, Hello, can you hear me? Maybe. Okay. Thank you, Shanhasa. So let me get out of here. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do today. In this session, I'm going to set up the web interface Wi-Fi on my fancy new grid. And just as a reminder, if you're just watching this video, this is a sequence of 3 videos. This is the third. In the other 2 videos, I set up the grid from scratch. So all the robust services, all the simulators, and now I'm moving on to the add-ons. So this is how my grid looks like, sort of like OSCC. There's a quad of simulators, and then the way that I set up the services, I divided them into a bundle of internal services that are behind the firewall and a bundle of external services that are outside of the firewall, including the login service. And so I'm now going to install Wi-Fi. And so Wi-Fi, there's a number of options for installing it. I'm going to install it to basically bundle it here also with the external services. So there's a process that runs this bundle of services, including the login one, and I'm just going to add on my Wi-Fi. Oh, I can't write with this thing. Let me see, this gigantic thing. Yes, Wi-Fi is gonna be here. There you go. Now another, let me just for completion, let me just tell you that one of the most important services that runs on this bundle is the login service. So I'll just put it here, login, so that there's no doubt about where things are. There you go. Okay. Let me just say that there's different options, and in other grids I've done it differently. So let me tell you another option is that you can put another bundle on the side that is meant to run just Wi-Fi. So you can start up a robust that the only thing that it has inside is Wi-Fi. And this would be a robust with basically no OpenSim services whatsoever. It's just an empty shell. And then we'll add Wi-Fi as a mono add-in, the way that I'm going to do it right now. And this may be good if you want to run it on a different port, for example, on port 80. If it's important to run it on a separate port, or for whatever reason, if it's important to really separate it from the grid services, because Wi-Fi is not really related to the grid services. Then you can just separate it here on another robust server. But I'm not going to do that because I don't think it's worth it for the purposes of this grid that I'm setting up. It's perfectly fine to be bundled with the other ones. But the reason why Wi-Fi is different than the other ones is that Wi-Fi is not part of the OpenSim core distribution. So the code is not included in the OpenSim standard distribution. And so in those circumstances, and there's other people who do additions to OpenSim, there's only a few ways that this becomes manageable. One way, so these are called third-party services, right? So third-party code. All my Diva add-ons are third-party code. And there's basically 2 ways that you can handle them. You can either compile OpenSim yourself, get the code of OpenSim, and then add the code of these third-party services and compile everything together and package everything together yourself, which is quite a bit. And in fact, some of these add-ons don't have the source code available anyway. They only distribute as binaries. Or use some sort of a plugin, right? Some plugin mechanism, which is what I do with Wi-Fi. So for some time, I used to bundle. I didn't have a good plugin mechanism for hooking up Wi-Fi, but then after some time, I started actually doing it properly using one of the menu add-in mechanisms that OpenSim has. In this case, is mono add-ins. And so that's what I'm going to show you, how to plug in Wi-Fi into one of your robust services using mono add-ins, because it's how it's packaged these days. There's other ways of setting this up, and I know that other people are doing it differently, compiled, because a lot of Wi-Fi is available as source code, so you can compile it yourself, get the DLL, and do the same, put DLL in the same bin as the rest of OpenSim and stuff like that. You can do that, but it's a little bit more clumsy, and it doesn't really take advantage of some of the additional add-ins that I have if you want to use them. So having said that, let me move on. I must confess that I don't remember anything. I try not to hold a lot of things in my memory because I have limited memory. So I actually don't remember very well how to set this up. Good thing that I wrote it down in a blog post. So every time that I want to install Wi-Fi, I just read my blog post and I just follow the instructions that I left there to myself a few years ago. So let me start by shutting down the whole thing, shutting down the grid. It's always good to shut down the grid. You actually don't need to shut down the whole grid, but you need to shut down the robust where you're going to install the Wi-Fi. And this is the first simulator, and I'm going to shut down the service bundles, the central service, internals, and finally the external. This is the one where I'm going to plug in Wi-Fi. All right, so let me detach from here. So let me tell you where to get the instructions to installing Wi-Fi. This is a blog post that I wrote way back in 2015. So you can find it if you search on Google, Metaverse Inc., and then Wi-Fi and other Diva add-ons. This should get you to this web page. And so I already, I know what this says, so I don't need to read it, but so I'm going to skip into the instructions. And in fact, here are the install instructions, and if you are making a new install from scratch, I'm going to skip to step 6. There's a lot of extra steps if you already have, Wi-Fi installed in some other means. So I don't. This is a brand new grid with a brand new installation. So I'm just gonna go straight into step 6. All right. So step 6 is making sure that the registry location and the config directory are properly set up. I already did that yesterday. So let me show you what I have. So for those of you who didn't listen to my other 2 videos, the way that I have this up is I have it different folders. So I have the services external is the robust config where I'm going to install Wi-Fi. The services internal is that other bundle of internal services that are inside the firewall. And then there's the simulators. Those are the simulators. So I'm going to show you what I have, what kind of configuration I have for the external services. And in particular, the registry location and the configuration directory, I have it right here. So I have a different pair of these ones for different processes. Okay, so I have basically three processes: the external services, the internal services, and then well, actually more than 3, I'm sorry. Each simulator is a separate process. But so I have a, you know, an add-ins pair of folders for the external services, another one for the internal services, and another one for all the simulators. And the reason why I do this is because I may want to install different plugins in these different types of servers that I have going on. And in fact, that's what will happen. So I'm going to install Wi-Fi is only going to be for this one, for the external one. And so this is where it's going to end up. It's going to end up on this folder over here, this add-ins registry and add-ins config, which they exist, right? If I show you here, services external, I already created these 2 folders over here. They don't have anything because I haven't installed anything yet. I'll show you. Actually, they may have already something. I'm sorry, I lied. Because when these OpenSim servers start, OpenSim also has mono add-ins in the source in the core distribution. There's a lot of mono stuff that we use internally, and so this is what gets placed in there when when the robust server or OpenSim server start. Okay, but this is where I'm going to add my Diva Wi-Fi. So having said that, let's go back to the instructions. I have this already set up, great. And then number 7, this is if I had this done before that I had a special DLL. This is when you do this kind of other way of packaging Wi-Fi. That's not what I'm doing, so step 7 also does not apply. So this is where the action starts. This is where I'm going to populate the mono add-ins registry with all the OpenSim core add-ins, and it's already there actually, but I'm going to do it again because it's there because I already ran that process once, but I'm going to do it again. So here's how it goes. So mono, yes, mono because we are in Linux. MyUtil, okay, this is an important thing. In all of this, I should be in the bin folder, right? I forgot to say this. Where am I supposed to be? Which folder am I supposed to be? Yes, from here on, all console commands are supposed to be given from the OpenSim bin folder. So, fine, let me go there before I do anything. All right, and then, so I'm going to do mono, and I'll explain what these things are. So MyUtil is a utility that comes bundled with OpenSim. We include it in the package. It's just a command line tool that is part of the mono add-ins project, I'm sorry. And it's exactly for installing add-ins. So the -reg is the path to the registry, with the registry that we want to install these things. So in this case, it's going to be, home, Vista, virtual classes, and it's going to be services external, and then add-ins registry. Okay, this is my registry where I'm going to install things, and what is it that I'm supposed to do? Reg update. This is not going to do much, but it's just going to update whatever is already there. Okay, good. Didn't do much. That was because I had already run that process before. Okay, now it's where this is where the action really starts on step 9. So what I'm going to do next in this other thing is to add a repository, which is this one, the metaverseinc.com repo, which is something that I maintain. So let me do that. Instead of reg update, I'm going to paste that. Sorry, let me move my here, move it here. Okay, so this http metaverseinc.com/repo is something that exists. You can, point your browser there. And this is where I keep all my Diva add-ons. So I need to add this repository. You know, this is very similar to all the package distribution systems out there, like Yum or apt-get or whatever. So it's a similar kind of thing. So you need to add the repo where these packages are, which is this one. Sorry, wrong window. Okay, so now I've added it. Next, I need to update. So now I'm going to update the repositories. So rep update. Rep, not reg, the repository update. I'm going to get the information from this new repository that I added. All right. It was this one. Okay, so now we can see the list of all available add-ins with the list available. Let's see if this works. Hopefully, list available. There you go. So it's all the stuff that I maintain, several versions for the several versions of OpenSim. Okay, there's Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi is this one. The latest package is this one, Diva.Wi-Fi with 0.9.1. So I maintain these version numbers in consistency with the OpenSim releases, official releases, and then this other little number is my own, you know, the version of the plugin, my own plugin itself. So this may vary, but it's important that you install the add-ins for the version of OpenSim that you have installed. So right now I installed 0.9.1.1 of OpenSim. So I need to install everything that's 0.9.1.1. In fact, every time that we make a new release of OpenSim, I have to produce new releases of all my packages that are compiled for that version of OpenSim. It may be possible that some of these packages work with prior versions, but they may break too. So that's the list of everything that's available. And now that's this. And now I'm going to install Wi-Fi. So I'm going to say install. And you just say Diva Wi-Fi, it installs the latest one. You don't need to specify the version. Diva Wi-Fi, here we go. It also needs to install this other little package Diva interfaces. I say yes. Okay. This is done. So, but before I even go to restart this robust, let me just show you what happened on that registries thing that I was talking about. So in here, there's these two add-ins config. So let me tell you what's in here. Add-ins registry. Okay, there's a lot more stuff that happened here. There's also repository cache, and the add-ins themselves are here, right? So if I show you that there's Diva, all right? So now it's installed on this in this folder, and it's going to apply only to the robust that is pointing to this registry, not to any other one that's pointing to other registries. Okay, so this is good, and so now all I need to do is to start robust. So let me go back to my screen session. And if I remember correctly, there was something wrong in my configuration. So let me detach again. There was something wrong in my configuration over here for the grid info. That's right. That I said no. I'm sorry. Grid info service. Right. So grid name. That's right. That's right. This is. I'm going to install Wi-Fi on the external services. So it really is on port 8002, so I forgot to add this. So that's the semicolon. Okay, the welcome, the about, the register is also going to be here. The password is also going to be here. The gatekeeper is good. Whatever, this is all good. Okay, hopefully I didn't forget anything else. All right, so let me go back here and restart the external service bundle. Here we go. Hopefully there will not be any red warnings on the console. Fingers crossed. Drum roll. Ah, okay, what happened? Oh, I know what happened. Oh my God, this is such a pain. I cannot believe it. Oh, much of a pain. I had to fix this on my terminal. Here's the problem. Whenever I run VI, it adds this extraneous little character wherever my cursor is, and it screws up everything. I don't know what's wrong. I welcome suggestions for how I can fix this thing on my terminal. Okay. Now, for one more time, here we go. Okay, so this is good, right? So this is good. It found the Wi-Fi, and now it's telling me, it's warning me, please edit this thing before running the service because there's more configurations that come with this, third-party package Wi-Fi that I need to take a look. So let me go there and inspect what's there for me to take a look. And this is the part where I probably need to go back to another page where I have notes about configuring Wi-Fi. Well, let me see if I can do it from memory. Okay, so let me go here. See, this is where I put whenever I install these extra packages, they can come with their own configurations, right, that are not part of OpenSim. And so I put them here. The add-ins config is for these other extra configurations that come with these packages. Okay, see, that G, damn it. So, right, so first thing is that I need to set this to true. This is all good. Grid name. Okay, this is the part that what did I call this world? VCI Virtual Campus, I think, or something like that. VCI Virtual Campus. This is what will show on the web page, right? Not the viewer. This shows on the web page. Login URL is I should probably use that thing, the const thing. Anyway, whatever. I'm going to hard code it here. Niagara.iccciview. Web address is same. Niagara.iccciview. Okay, the admin Wi-Fi administrator account. So there's supposed to be a so Wi-Fi creates a new account that is supposed to be for administration of Wi-Fi itself. You know what? I probably should not. It's okay. I think I'm going to. Yeah. Account confirmation required, yes. So this is the part whether you want to open registrations or not. So I don't want open registrations because this is a restricted grid. This is the default. This is fine. Okay, this is the part that is kind of powerful. Wi-Fi, you can have a predefined set of avatars, and when people create accounts, they see those options, which options what kind of avatar they want to use. So, but this is the part that I can direct you to the place where this is explained. I am not going to do it myself right now. In fact, I may not even do it at all for this grid because the way that people log in on this grid is slightly different. I'm going to explain. They don't create accounts directly here. They're going to log in with their university accounts. So it's some sort of web authentication, and they log in with just a generic avatar. So they don't go through this Wi-Fi account creation thing. So I'm not going to even take care of this. Okay, the home location. This is for new accounts. Fine. I'm not going to do that. This is all for new accounts. All right. So this is the part that if you want Wi-Fi to send email, and at points it needs to send email, like for example, if people forget the password, you need to find yourself some way of sending emails, some accounts, some service like Gmail, and get username and password. I'm not going to do that right now. Also because again, I don't necessarily need it for this grid because people don't create accounts directly in here. They go through the accounts that they already have at university. So, okay. So path to folder where half a dozen user changeable files and folders are. Okay, this is important. So there in Wi-Fi there's a bunch of pages, and some of them, like half a dozen or so, you can change them. Okay, so there's a question from Shanhasa. If you're limited to just 3 default avatars, no, you can have as many as you want. You basically have, this is just generic. It doesn't even need to be male, female, or neutral. It basically needs to have like avatar account underscore something, and then what's in here is an account name that must exist and that you must configure, you must log in and create that avatar to look however you want. And then that's what's in here, right? So you can, I just have 3, but you can have any, with whatever little labels you have them here. So it doesn't need to be these labels either. It can be any. The only thing that needs to stay is the avatar account underscore and then some label. Yeah, you can add as many as you want here in this configuration file. All right, so right now I'm not going to do it because I don't think I need it, and if I need it, I'll do it later. Okay, so all right, so as I said, there's like 6 or so web pages that you can change, like in particular, for example, the welcome screen and the page that is shown in the viewer when the viewer points to this grid. All of that can be completely rewritten by you. So it's important to know where those web pages are so that you can change them. So I'm going to set this to not here, not dot dot, but to here, home Vista, virtual classes, services, text. Okay, so you'll see what happens. There will be a folder created here called Wi-Fi pages, and those are the 6 or so pages that you can change. Okay, so what is this? Search resources. This is, if you want to serve more things, like whatever, images or some documents or whatever, you can add the additional paths that the Wi-Fi can serve, and you can define them here. right? It's a comma separated list of things. Okay, localization. Okay, English is default, that's fine. This is again that you can, so Wi-Fi. I must say there was a somebody who was working with me on Wi-Fi for a while. I think he was from Russia, and he did a fabulous job at localization. He basically added localization to Wi-Fi. I did not have localization. Localization is when you can customize the language to, to whatever language you want. And so there's, there's some things that need to do, some translation files that need to be in certain places. And I try to keep them up to date, but I'm not always good at it. But anyway, so the default is English, but you can change it to whatever, French, German, Russian, Italian, Portuguese. Okay, so front-end language, same thing. This is both for admins and for the front-end people. Log missing translations. Okay, more things related to localization. Okay, so Wi-Fi has a feature that people can upload IRs, so they can upload IR files into their own inventories via the web interface without having access. You probably know the IRs can be loaded in the server console, right? If you have managed an OpenSim simulator in the server console, you can load IR files that are going to be placed in some avatars inventory. With Wi-Fi, the people themselves, not the administrators, the people themselves can do it if you let them, right? So this is the user level for allowing to do IR uploads, and user level 0 is fine. So meaning everyone can do it. And also the Wi-Fi used to be, you could use this with SQLite, but so the person who was doing this did a fair amount. I don't think the SQLite connector is up to date with all the latest things, so I don't maintain the SQLite thing anymore. I use MySQL. So I think this is it. I think this is all I need to do for now. I'm not gonna set up the email stuff. I'm not gonna set up the avatars, at least not yet. And everything else looks good. Enabled equals true. Oh, wait, no. So connection string. It's the same. So I don't need to provide it here. If I delete it, because it's the same database, if I delete this one, it will use whatever, it's in the other robust file, the generic one for all the other services. But the storage provider, this DLL is important because I have some extensions here that I do on the database. And so it's important to access the database through this DLL instead of the OpenSim DLL. So that's important. Okay. Right. Quit, and let's go back. And now if I start this external, this should work. Okay, see, there's a lot of stuff now related to Wi-Fi extraction and stuff like that. And in fact, now if I go back over here, look what happened. There's a folder now called Wi-Fi pages. And this is where the customizable pages are. So if you look in here, there's like things in here like footer, HTML, header, the links that you may want to put, the welcome page, the splash page. Let me see what's all that stuff. I don't even remember. Actually, you know what? Let me just point the browser to it. So now the browser should be able to find it. So it's Niagara.cs PCI edu 8002. So if I do this, this should show me the splash page. There you go. Okay. Right. So now I need to install Wi-Fi. This is important. This is the first time that you run this. You need to install it. if I remember, I need to set up the admin password. Set. Okay. Never. So if I log in now, Wi-Fi admin login. All right, so I'm in. I can manage accounts. If I put a space here, it shows me everything. So right now there's only the Wi-Fi admin and the estate manager account, which is Crystal Ops. I can manage groups. I don't think there's any groups. I can see my inventory. This is for, I could log in with a normal person. There's some support for the console. I don't remember very well what this is. Login name. This is a part that Mark also did. It wasn't me. It may work, may not work. You can try. Yeah. Okay. So, all of that stuff that can be customizable is the links, okay? So you can change the links. You can put them on whatever links you want. You can change the header and the footer. You can change so this splash page over here, this thing can be changed. The thing that is shown on the viewer when the viewer first connects to this world can also be changed. And that is all here in this in this folder, Wi-Fi pages. Okay, and this will persist updates of the Wi-Fi add-on itself. So if right now I'm in 0.9.1 of OpenSim. It's possible that we're going to package a 0.9.2 sometime during this next couple of weeks. So when we do that, I can update OpenSim here, the binaries, and I'm going to have to package a new version of all my add-ons, Diva add-ons. And then I can also update. It's possible to update these add-ons just with with MyUtil, updates. But when I do that, these pages here will remain. I don't need to copy them around or make backups or whatever. They will just be here. All right, so that's Wi-Fi. Now usually I install a few other additional add-ons that are not open source. One of them is the grid admin. So I did more things for administering things in the grid, like estates and regions, groups, like bulk updates of accounts. If you need to add a lot of, like for the use case of OSCC, when we need to put people in groups, we usually put that information on a spreadsheet, and then we just bulk update and update everything, in bulk. It's same thing for the purpose of this grid. This is a large class, 150 students. I'm going to have to put them in groups and things like that. So all of that stuff comes with an add-on that I have that's not open source, that's called a grid management. So I'm going to install that. And again, I don't remember off the top of my head how that is done, but thankfully it's all here. So these optional Diva add-ons. So here's all the stuff that is available. In particular, this one that I'm going to install, the grid management. So here's how I'm going to do that. I'm going back to stopping that server. It's always good to stop the server that you are working on. Okay, so the registry is good. Okay, we already did this, we already did that, and so finally all we need to do really is just this one, install diva.gridmanagement. I want to install this one. Okay, so I go back here and we detach. We go back to OpenSim bin. And now I'm just gonna go back in history. Here, install paste Diva Wi-Fi grid management. Okay. All right. So, and if you see what happened over here, in the registry add-ins, there, it's there. Okay, it's installed. So now I go back over here and I start this again. Let's see what happens. Okay, so good. So it tells me in red, you know, this came with a configuration file. Yeah, so is there an overview of available add-ons? Um, okay, Shan has the best overview is really this one. I don't have, so I have the list here, but actually I already did one more than it's not even here. So if you want to see all the add-ons, just go here, http metaverseinc.com/repo. This is where they all are. So this is all I have here. Um, there's a bunch of, so there's Wi-Fi, there's grid management is very useful. Virtual Office is something that I use sometimes. It allows, it has something, it's a little difficult to install, I must confess, but it allows you to import PDFs. So you can have a PDF, like if you have exported the presentation in PDF, you can upload then the PDF and it transforms into images automatically. What else do I have? I have an important, the last ones that I did are these ones. The basically some some authorization, you know, external authorization. So I have one that allows you to log in these worlds with Google accounts, with Gmail accounts. And then I have this one that I did for UCI that allows you to log in using the weird kind of web authentication that UCI has in place. That this is what the students are going to be doing. So this I'll come back to this, but cost for commercial use, I don't know. Email me. You know, it depends. But email me. You know, I've sold this before to other people. Just email me. Um, so the one that I'm going to install right now is the grid management. And I already did, right? So I already did this one, and now it's telling me, please go and edit this because there are configuration files that you need to set up. So let me go to that. Okay. So there's this one is not a lot, but this one is important where you put the license. So because this is not freely available, you need a license for this. I'm going to put the license here that I already have for myself. But this is the license. But the other things are the so in the bulk accounts management, for example, for OSCC or for a university or whatever you want to create accounts that are like come from a spreadsheet, lots of accounts at the same time, that gets sent an email. And in order to do that, you have to set up the email stuff that I skipped on Wi-Fi, okay? But this sends emails to all of those people. So the email address is one of the columns, and then you can set up, you know, the templates, text templates of what those emails are. And this is I have two. One is for local accounts, and others is for foreign. So you can also have accounts that are just hypergrid accounts, so you don't create a local account, but you let other people come in here. So these are two templates that you can set. So in this case, I'm not going to use any of this because I'm not going to create bulk accounts. I may change accounts in bulk, but I'm not going to create them. So I'm going to leave this as is. Another thing in here is that if you run a large, a grid with multiple servers, I have a monitoring tool here that tests if the servers are up or they went down. And when they go down, it sends you an email. So if you're, whatever, not paying attention, and some region goes down, it sends you an email. And this is the default how often it gets checked. So it's 4 hours. Every 4 hours it checks whether all the regions that are up are up. All regions that are supposed to be up are up. So in other words, the only thing that's really needed here is this license. And so, excuse me while I go here out of stream and set up a license for this. That's the Wi-Fi grid management. Okay. And voila. This is back. So now it has the license, and so I'm going to back to my screen. And now I am going to run this again. External. Okay, so some things, there you go, found this, the grid management is alive. So you see the region monitor is one of the services that comes bundled in this grid management. It's starting, so there's groups management, this is all new stuff that comes in this bundle. Let me show you how the extra stuff that you can do with this thing. So if you go here, okay, so see now there's a new menu that popped up here, this add-on menu, and you can see the regions. Oh, I'm sorry, the regions are all down. You know what, let me put them up. Let me run them. Okay, let's reboot the grid again. Let's see before. Okay, so let's see what happens now. There you go. So now we have the 4 regions, and now you can independently monitor any of them if you want or not. Okay, then you say monitor, it gets placed on some sort of on the database that if every 4 hours Wi-Fi checks if they're alive, and if one of them is not alive, it sends you an email. And what else is here? The group members. This is a part of the interface. It's so this manage groups is something very, very like lightweight. It's very little things that you can do here. And I don't have groups, so I cannot show you. But this one is a lot. We can do a lot more. You can eject people from groups. You can add people from groups. You can do you can see all the members in the group. You can there's more things that you can do in here. Manage groups. Yeah. Okay, so what else is in here? Grid users. Okay, this is the part that has the bulk interface. So you can this part, if you have an XML, I'm sorry, a comma separated value file, okay, that you can import it here, and the format for this, I hope that I'm bundling it. Am I bundling it? Let me check. I should bundle an example so people know. Let me see if I'm doing that. I should be doing that. I'm not, huh? Okay. I should bundle an example of this CSV file. Otherwise, you don't know what should be in there. I'll try to remember to do that next time I package one of these. But basically, this can either create accounts if they don't exist, or if the accounts that you have on the spreadsheet already exist, it updates them. So you can add people to groups, or add people to roles of groups, or change their user level, change their home position. There's all sorts of things that can go into that bulk update. So this is absolutely crucial when we're running OSCC. Or when you're running some sort of a large conference that you don't want individual people to create accounts, because it gets very confusing, and then you need to add them to groups one by one. It's just a pain in the neck. What else is in here? The estate management here. You can create new estates over here. You can also you can see what are the regions in the estate. See, there's a lot of stuff. You can set a lot of the stuff in the estate here on the web. You can also do it on the viewer, but you can also do it here. So you can update any of these things. Allow groups, landing regions. You can even set the music URL on the entire set of regions in that state, which I should probably do. You know what? Let me do that right now. I'm going to set the URL. Let me find one. Oh, crappy. Okay. Media. No sound. There you go. No, I cannot copy this. Okay. Let me do this. It's HTTP live dot stream hosting dot Switzerland /80. Okay. Stream hosting Switzerland. Okay, so then it should have been set there. All right, so these are all the extra add-ons, and I'm going to install one more, which is the UCI authentication one. So let me log out of here and go back to here. I'm going to stop that particular server, not the others. I'm just going to stop the external one, which is this one, where I'm installing all this stuff. The others I can leave it on. So go back here, OpenSim and now this one. What's it called? It's called Diva login UCI. Okay. Yes. All right. Same thing. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to complain that I need to edit some file, but let me show you. What the heck? It should have told me it found it, that's for sure. But it said that, okay, it should have pointed me to the configuration file. I know where it is, but there should have been a warning in here. All right, let me go back there again. It's going to be here. No, come. What? Where'd it go? this is the first time that I'm installing this add-in from away from my test server at my VLab. I'm gonna have to figure out what is going on in here. There's supposed to be a where did I install it? I didn't install Diva IDCI. That's right. Okay. Auth login disabled. Okay, I need to go back to find out what is going on in here. But anyway, that's the basic idea. It will work. Now I'm curious to see if it. No, it's. I mean, it's disabled, so it will not show up. It will not show up. I need to remind myself what I did. This is something that I did a few months ago. All right, so that's it. This is how you install Diva Wi-Fi as a third-party mono add-in. It's relatively easy if you follow these instructions that are here on this web post. And the reason why I did this is because it's relatively robust to upgrades of OpenSim. So when I'm going to install the next version of OpenSim, I don't need to change, to be fiddling with DLLs and stuff like that. You can just upgrade, just say myutil update Diva Wi-Fi, and if the new package is already there, it will do the right thing. Okay, this is it for now. If you need to reach me, let me know. Diva@metaverseinc.com, and I'll see you all later. Bye.